Santa Rosalia was a town lost in time, a place where the days moved as slowly as the horse-drawn carts that still rattled along its dirt roads. The wooden houses with their tin roofs seemed to breathe the air of the 1940s, and the church, with its towering spire and ever-ringing bell, was the heart of the town. But there was something heavy in the air, a dark secret that hung over Santa Rosalia like a cloud. The townspeople of Santa Rosalia were an odd, reserved lot. Their smiles were forced, their conversations whispered, and whenever a stranger wandered in, they clammed up even tighter. There was an oppressive atmosphere in the town, as if everyone shared a secret that kept them bound together by an unspoken pact. Visitors, when they did arrive, quickly sensed the unease that radiated from the town and soon left, leaving Santa Rosalia to its shroud of mystery. Few knew the town's dark truth. Santa Rosalia had a guardian, a demonic figure known only as him. Few dared to speak his name, and those who did spoke it with trembling voices, as if uttering it might summon his presence. He was an entity that, according to the stories, had been in Santa Rosalia since time immemorial. It was said that he appeared on the darkest nights, when the moon was hidden behind heavy clouds, and walked the town's streets, cloaked in a black robe that hid his entire form. The only thing visible were his massive, twisted horns, jutting menacingly from under the hood. His steps were silent, but his presence was felt by everyone. The children were taught to fear him from a young age. They were told terrifying tales about what happened to those who disobeyed the town's rules or dared to challenge his authority. But the fear they displayed was, in truth, a facade. Behind closed doors and locked windows, the adults murmured prayers and offered sacrifices to the demon, believing that by appeasing him, they could maintain the peace and prosperity that Santa Rosalia enjoyed. On the nights of the new moon, the townspeople gathered secretly in the church. The priest, who was supposed to be a symbol of faith and goodness, led the dark rituals in honor of the demon. The altar, which during the day was used for masses, was at night covered with strange symbols, drawn in blood from an unknown source. The candles lit in honor of saints were extinguished and replaced with black candles, their flames flickering as if dancing to an infernal melody. The Latin hymns were replaced by words in a forgotten tongue, and the faithful, with glazed eyes, chanted the prayers with fervor. While the town pretended to live under fear and oppression, there was a sickening admiration for the being they believed protected their crops, kept their families together, and ensured Santa Rosalia's survival. The elders would say that, in ancient times, when the town faced famine and despair, he had appeared and offered a pact. In exchange for eternal devotion, he would ensure that Santa Rosalia thrived while the towns around them fell into ruin. Over the years, those who tried to break the pact or leave the town were never seen again. Some said they were taken to the woods surrounding the town, where he held his judgments. The bodies were never found, but the trees near where they disappeared bore deep scars, as if clawed by monstrous talons. Yet there was a young woman named Clara who had always felt that something was wrong. Clara, the daughter of the town doctor, was different from the others. She never understood how everyone seemed to accept so easily the strange things that happened in Santa Rosalia. Her father, a respected man, always told her not to ask questions and to follow the traditions. But Clara couldn't. Her curious and questioning spirit led her to watch the townspeople more closely. One night, Clara decided to follow her father and other town members to the church. She knew something strange was happening there, and curiosity finally outweighed fear. Hidden in the shadows, Clara watched the ritual in horror. She saw her father, whom she had always considered a rational and just man, offer the blood of an animal to the demon and worship him as a savior. Seeing the blind devotion and madness in the villagers' eyes, Clara realized she couldn't keep living a lie. Determined to break the cycle of terror, Clara searched for information on how she might break the pact. She studied ancient texts hidden in the town's library and discovered that the pact could only be broken by a voluntary sacrifice of someone with pure blood, someone who had never participated in the rituals. Such a person, through an act of courage and faith, could free Santa Rosalia from its curse. Clara knew she was the only one who could perform this act. She prepared in secret, knowing that if she failed, she would become another victim of the demon. On the night of the sacrifice, Clara ventured into the woods. With a dagger in hand, she began to recite the words she had learned, summoning him for the final confrontation. But the demon was cunning. He knew of Clara's intentions and had set a trap. As she was about to make the sacrifice, the demon appeared, shrouded in his black robe, his horns gleaming in the full moonlight. Instead of attacking, he revealed the truth Clara had feared. The pact couldn't be broken because it wasn't just a simple agreement between the demon and the people of Santa Rosalia. It was a curse rooted in the blood of every person in the town, passed down from generation to generation. Clara couldn't break the pact without destroying the town and its inhabitants. Desperate, Clara hesitated. She couldn't condemn everyone she loved to destruction, but he knew that by sparing the town, Clara was condemning it to live forever under his control. In a final act of defiance, Clara used the dagger on herself, attempting to sacrifice herself to weaken the demon. However, her sacrifice didn't have the desired effect. Instead of freeing the town, Clara's blood sealed the pact, making the curse even stronger. The next morning, the villagers found Clara's body in the woods, her face serene in a way that didn't match the tragedy that had occurred. The news spread quickly, and though everyone showed sadness and fear, deep down, they knew that the pact was stronger than ever. The crops were abundant that year, and the town's prosperity seemed guaranteed for another generation. But Clara had planted a seed of doubt in some hearts, a doubt that might grow over time, eventually leading to another attempt to break the cycle. Until then, Santa Rosalia would continue to be a town where fear and the worship of the demon walked hand in hand, and the sound of the church bells, echoing in the distance, would continue to be the grim reminder of the pact that kept it alive.